Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go.
What is going on, crypto fam? Welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Nightcap. We're doing this every Monday through Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're bringing you some of the most important market news as well as technical analysis that you can actually use. And I think that Bitcoin is primed for a move. We're getting a little bit of a squeeze, and we are testing resistance time now, sitting at about $58,100. We're looking like we want to make a move here. But that being said, we do have some news to talk about today, and I am not doing this alone. I got my man, FD White.
I'm here, man. I'm here. We usually, our last day, we usually make it a good one, man, for the people to take over the weekend. And we got some nice setups and some nice news and want to talk about it, man. I'm always a little tired around this time, but then as soon as that music comes on, man, I get a jolt of energy. So I'm ready, man. I'm ready. Love doing it.
That's it. That and the WWE match that is bound to happen here in the next 20 minutes. So we know that's about to
It's
go
happening.
down.
It's happening. I'm utilizing that mute button a lot more nowadays. So
There it is. There it is. Got to be quick on the trigger. All right, let's get over to the chat. Let's say what's up to some peeps out here. We got username. We're already having a conversation, so keeping it flowing. Hey, he said keep your drawings PG tonight, man. He wanted to give you that little bit of advice
hey,
there.
man.
Hey,
Hey, he was over at the show earlier, man. I drew something that looked like something, so we're just gonna leave it at that. But I might have to draw it again. I'm gonna make it a little bit more pointier this time, so we'll
okay.
go from there.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I always laugh at the head and shoulders, man, because when you draw that out, yeah.
That was
It
it.
is
Yeah,
what
that
it
was
is. All right. All right. Usernames in here. Alexander G's in the house. Best mod in the house. My SoCal lady. Hope you enjoyed that little shake earlier today. We did have a little earthquake here in California. Nothing too crazy, but it was enough to get me to go downstairs and check on the kids, make sure they weren't standing under any like picture frames or anything or fans or anything crazy like that. So did want to check on them, but all is good in the hood. Let's keep it going here. Hart, he said, yo, driving. Well, we're saying hi to you on audio. So how you doing, man? I hope all is well. And Wix White Fine 89. She said, hi, everybody. Hello. How are you? Retro Mike Tech, he's in the house. One eye on Nightcap, one eye on the mediocre Dolphins. That is fair enough. I respect it. I respect your game. Multitasking. Football is important. I get it. Indie Rock Crypto in the house. Love you. NFL Tonight. You know it. My man, he's always in here. Our unofficial hype man. So hope all is well with you, my dude. All right. Sweet. Let's go ahead and get into the news. We're going to get this one cranking. I actually learned something today, too, on X, but I'll tell you guys about that here in a second. All right. So one thing that I do like is Cointelegraph actually gives you like a top 5 from what's going on today. I'm only going to use a couple of them, but the two big things that I did see was Grayscale to launch a US XRP trust, paving the way for a potential ETF. Now, I know that's been in talks, it's been in discussion quite a bit, and we did have a bit of a pop on XRP this morning. I showed that to you guys on the chart, and I tried to see how it correlated to AVAX, and I gave you kind of a price target if it were to move at the same percentage that AVAX moves. So I haven't actually looked at XRP yet since this morning, so I am interested to see where we're sitting at on the charts. And Hawaii is emerging as a crypto hub following new crypto regulations. Now, this is what I actually learned today. If you highlight the text, it will then give you an option to ask Grok. I didn't know that. So I learned something today, but here's the answer. says Hawaii is emerging as a cryptocurrency hub following new regulations that exempt crypto firms from needing a money transmitter license, attracting major Web3 companies like Coinbase, MetaMask, and BitPay to establish operations there. This regulatory shift, effective from July 2024, aligns with Hawaii's growing Web3 community, fostering broader crypto adoption and innovation in the state. That's pretty cool, man. That's, I'd say, bullish news for Hawaii, that's for sure. And that is, I'm not going to be honest with you. When I'm done with all this fiat mining and I'm done playing around, doing that 9 to 5 and working, Hawaii is on the short list for TradeFly to settle down and enjoy the beaches and the weather. And yeah, we were just talking about that today. We went for a hike today.
Man.
But what's up, man? You feel like you're about to say
I'm
something.
trying to. It's nothing like it, man. It's nothing like it. If you could, I went out for about 5 months. I really didn't want to come back, man. I didn't want to come back, but I wasn't just, ready, prepared to just move everything, just then. But it's definitely something like on my radar, and that's why I go so hard with this, is in order to be a little bit
Mm-hmm.
more freer, than I am now.
That's
So
it.
that's the key. That's the key. Money and all this other stuff just gives you your time back, and your time is the freedom.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. So me and my wife were having that conversation too, and she was like, "Man, you're working like 3 jobs," and I was like, "Yeah," and she was like, "You work like you're like kind of a workaholic," and I was like, "Yeah, but here we go in like 10 years, like I'm done, dude. Like I am not gonna keep doing all the craziness. Now I might keep doing some content creation, continue to trade crypto, but in the grand scheme of things, that's kind of I'm not gonna say low stress, but at the same time, like I won't need it. It's just something that I'm gonna want to do and have the potential to continue to earn more capital. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. Everything else that I'm doing with real estate, things of that nature, some of my traditional investments, those are really what are setting me up for that opportunity to retire, as well as I will get a military retirement. So that's a pretty sweet deal. But it is definitely not all in all enough to keep you on your feet. But that's why I have that real estate kind of offsetting or helping out, we'll say. So cool, man. All right, let's go over to the next bit of news we got here, and boom. All right, here we go. So BlackRock says Bitcoin could be a hedge against increasing global disorder and declining trust in governments, banks, and fiat currencies. It's almost like 2 years, 3 years later, what we've all been saying. I mean, some people probably 4 or 5 years later, what we've all been saying. Now the institutions are saying, bro, like that's kind of big to come from BlackRock. Like you really let that sink in because BlackRock is so big, so powerful. They're obviously investing in Bitcoin with the ETF, and they're very invested, right? And for them to say like, hey, this is a hedge against all things that are crap in the world, that makes me more bullish. I've already been feeling bullish. You guys know that. That's just making me feel even better about the way I'm feeling. So, what do you think about that,
Yeah.
man?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Like BlackRock, they're in the money business. They're in the money making business and money maintaining and retaining business. So they're just seeing the writing on the wall as well on a larger scale. They have information and data that we couldn't dream of having. So for them to come out and say something like this is just just solidifies what we've been saying for the past few years. And like you said, a lot of people who have been saying this from the beginning. So it's just my conviction is strong, for crypto, for Bitcoin, and we just know where it's going. And this is just another big player that's coming to our side.
Dude, yeah, man. All I gotta say is welcome to the club, guys. So, all right, let's look at. We got a couple more in the chat here. 12 line man for hire. We always got to give him a little shout out. Hope all is well with you, my dude. Thanks for stopping by, Mooksy. I'm just gonna say Mooksy. I hope that's good enough. He said GM, so you must be on the other side of the world. So right on. Let us know where you're from, man. Drop that in the chat. I'm very interested to know. And then I see some waves in here. Wave gang, Lunar Beaches Crypto, my dude. How you doing? We gotta get you on the show, dude. We gotta get you on the show. So let me know when you are available, and we will have you on, man. You're killing it, by the way. Like honestly, like I've been watching some of the TA that you're dropping, dude. Like you're doing like really solid job of one with the TA, but also articulating what you're seeing on the charts, man. So I just want to give you a little shout out, say good job, man. Hope all is well with you. David Brumbelow is in the chat. What's up, my guy? And he's, let's see, Moxie. That's work. Love. I'm from Sri Lanka. All right, dude. That's pretty cool, man. Well, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. We've been seeing you quite a bit here recently, so that's we appreciate you. We appreciate you. All right, you guys know what time it is. We got to sound the siren and bring on Mr. Bud. All right, so this one is not directly aimed at crypto, but when you read it, this is not good, okay? So US government announces it has spent over $1 trillion this year on interest payments for its $35.3 trillion national debt. Like, let that sink in. We're now spending more in interest payments than we had in total debt at some points. Like, I mean, yeah, if you go all the way back, of course, but like there was a point where people were freaking out about having, you know, $2-3 trillion of debt, and now we're paying that in interest. Like, let that sink in. Let that sink in. So when you read an article by Citibank that's saying, hey, we might have a 1.25%, you know, interest rate deduction essentially, man, you know, that would make sense because that is part of the equation. So I don't know, man. I think that's crazy. I don't know why they would really do that to themselves because at some point you got to pay the piper. Like at some point, like, and I don't know how that's really gonna work because it feels like it's all kind of fun money at this point. I don't know if it's monopoly money and nobody really cares and we can just print at will forever and ever and we'll all be dead by the time it's at 100 trillion. Nah, I take that back, man. It's gonna be 100 trillion in like 5 years. But anyways, like at this rate,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
looking
it's
like it. Yeah.
it's just crazy. It's crazy, man. Like
Yeah.
it
So
lets you know.
yeah.
Go
Go ahead.
ahead,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry.
Nah, you're good, man.
No,
I'm trying to
I
think what
was
you
looking
called
at
it the other day. You called it something, man. The Ponzi. Is that so? You called it the
yeah,
Ponzi, and
it's a Ponzi. It's a Ponzi scheme. Yeah, like
I was
the
like,
way we
man,
issue debt is the real life definition of a Ponzi scheme. Like the way we issue our debt out, on the way we can just print money to buy it back. Like it's a house of cards Ponzi scheme. Like it's the real true life definition of a Ponzi scheme. That's the crazy part. But I wanted to talk about what T. Will said when we were talking about BlackRock. He said that's kind of suspect if BlackRock really thought that they would be buying way more than they are. They should at least own 1 trillion if that's what they thought. So yeah, I can see where you're coming from, but maybe they think it's going, maybe they think they can get it at a better deal, or maybe a lot of
you
times.
you would
Oh,
shock
go
the
ahead.
market. So I just
Yeah,
want to
you would.
like comment
Yeah,
on that. You would shock the market if they buy it all
yeah,
up, then there's no more to go around, right? So yeah, like
mhm,
I mean, it would in essence raise the value because there's a finite amount left, but like you're legit gonna shock the market, and I don't know if that meets their end state either because you got to think about the ETFs and the fees and everything that goes along with continuing that process long term. Like there's a long term goal here for them to continue to make money with Bitcoin, right? So I don't know,
mhm.
man. I mean, I understand
So yeah,
it's a
yeah,
good
it's
point.
chess, not checkers, man. It's always chess, not
Yeah.
checkers with these big players. I'm sure they have some side of like if we see like when the dips happen, the big dips, we see BlackRock is like one of the first people to always come in and scoop up, them and micro strategy. They're always coming in and buying stuff. So I don't know if their conviction is or they're as bullish as Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor's telling you to sell your cats, sell your husbands, your wives, and buy Bitcoin, your houses. I don't think they're that bullish, but they are bullish. And as we saw for the past year, how Larry Fink has been coming on talking about Bitcoin and talking about the national debt and seeing how that's a problem. I can see that, we can see that a lot of these companies are starting to share the same sentiment that us crypto bros and crypto gals and crypto, family has been talking about for years. So I think it's just one of those things where we don't know their whole play, but they're putting this out. Maybe it's just talking their bag up. Maybe it is, but we will have to see in the future. And
Maybe.
every dip we have, they have been down there buying, so they have been, walking the walk.
Yeah, fair enough. Couple shout outs here. We got Amy Lives Crypto in the chat with the orange hearts. You know how she does it. Everybody go check her out, man. She's got a great channel. And same goes for Retro Mike Tech. I think he's been posting some content as well here recently. So check him out as well. Much love to those two. Always good to see in the chat. Crypto Crags in the house. He say, "Yo, good evening, everybody. What's up? How you doing?" And then I think that is it. Trade Intuition sneaking in here, man. Joe, how you doing? Another one that's part of the fam. Go check his channel out as well, man. It's so funny how many content creators come in and like support each other. I love it. French Toaster, hola, my dude. Hope all is well with you. And cool. Let's go ahead and start getting into the market update. I'll pull that up for you guys here, and let's get it. All right, first up is going to be the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. Total market cap is sitting at $2.12 trillion. That's up 1.39%. That's a pretty nice little move there. That's probably based on some of the data that's been coming out the last 2 days. One was kind of mixed, one was kind of bad, but it is what it is. It's moving, and that's good for crypto. I ain't mad at it. All right, 24-hour trading volume is 78 billion. That's down 10.7%. We are starting to head into the weekend. No big surprises there. Bitcoin dominance is at 54.1%. So not much of a move there. Crypto Fear and Greed Index is sitting at 32, which is fear. Nothing too much to write home about. All right, so over to PPI data that came out today. Factory gate prices in the U.S. increased 0.2% month over month in August of 2024, and that is following a downwardly revised flat reading in July and above forecast of 0.1%. So here we go again with the a downwardly revised number. Like it seems like every time they revise these numbers, it's usually not a good thing. But it's like their way of just kind of sweeping it under the rug because it doesn't seem to move the market every time they do it. That's one thing I'm noticing. The day of, market moves. Later, they revise the number and it's usually pretty bad and it doesn't really move the market. So it's very, very interesting to watch that. Cost for machinery and vehicle wholesaling, auto fuels, lubricants, retailing, residential real estate loans, partial, professional and commercial equipment wholesaling also moved higher. So not great. Now, this is the one. Now, I want you guys in the chat. Tell me if I am crazy or just smoking dope here, but I'm going to read this to you and see if you're interpreting it the same way I am. Chicken, eggs, gasoline, diesel fuel, and drugs and pharmaceuticals offset falls in prices or jet fuel, which is down 10.5%. So it's like a sneaky way to say that all of those actually went up in price, but it's okay because jet fuel came down 10.5%. Am I crazy when I'm reading this? Like, it just seems like a really sneaky way to be like, hey, you know all those things that you buy every day that you kind of like chicken and eggs and gasoline and diesel fuel and drugs? Yeah, those kind of all went up. And we're not even going to tell you how much they went up. But it's okay. Jet fuel is a little cheaper now, so that's
Yeah.
good.
But let me tell you this though, TradeFly. If you read the CPI, you see that flights are up, like maybe like 5%. They went up. They were coming down, but now the flights tickets are up. So that's
0.8%.
why they're probably went. Yep.
Actually, it says it fell. In contrast, prices for airline passenger services fell 0.8%. So that's probably directly tied to the fuel.
Check that because I looked at with the CPI when you look at the actual report, I thought I saw that airline fares went up for the last month. Let me check again.
It's very well, it could have, but I just that line there that I highlighted like just threw me off, man. I was like, you got to be kidding me! Like that is the most shady way to like throw some data out there, and it's like all the stuff that like we I won't say all the stuff, but it's definitely a good chunk of things that we buy a lot of as Americans at least. So all right, let me look at the chat because I did say, hey, let me see if I'm interpreting that correctly. Jet fuel is overrated. I need jet fuel for the top fuel dragster I take to the grocery store. That's fair. I mean, I use jet fuel on the regular. It's kind of my job, but I don't pay for it. So thank you guys for paying your taxes. I appreciate you. You pay both my paycheck as well as the fuel for the aircraft. So you guys are the best. Dope. All right. So yeah, I think I am reading it correctly. Let's go ahead and get over to the crypto bubbles. I see you working that right now in the background. So let me know what you find here, and we will continue on with the market pulse. Over to the bubbles. It's relatively green. There's a couple of things that have pulled back a little bit, but this is good, man. This is definitely what we like to see here. Popcat, there you go, dog. It's up 9.3%. Sui's up 8%. Let's see. Wow, WorldCoin's up 9.4%, and Quant is up 9.6%. What else we got here? Mantra is up 8.3%. Pyth XRP is up 4.8. That's not so bad. Beam's up 10.9%. So we got a few big movers, we'll say, but it's not like your biggies, right? So Bitcoin has not moved very much. Ethereum hasn't moved very much. But yeah, most of your like mid to upper or to larger cap tokens really haven't moved all that much. Let's see if there's any big losers here. Not too much. I mean, Helium at 3.8%. Nothing too crazy. Never even heard of Chill before. Got to be honest. That's 3.5%. BCH is down 1.8, so nothing too crazy. Really, we got more positive movers and gainers than anything else, so that's good to see. Cass is down 0.62%. Love seeing that. He's moving the other direction. All right, so I found this little handy dandy thing. I was watching Piper today, and I was like, man, I don't even have to go to CoinMarketCap. I can just scroll down, and we got our top 10 right there. So we are gonna do it this way today. Bitcoin and Ethereum sitting at a 1-2. Bitcoin is currently at a price of 58,143. Over the day, it is up 0.85%. Over the week, it is up 3.3%. Ethereum is currently sitting at $2,361. And over the day, it is up 0.28%, and it is down 0.75% over the week. So let's go ahead and look at some of the other coins. BNB still sitting in the 500s. That's at 545. Looking good on the daily and the weekly. It's up 8.3% on the weekly. Solana is at 136. Again, that is looking good. It's up 1.6 for the day and 4.9% over 7 days. XRP, you know that's going to be a mover. That's at 56 cents, and that is up 4.7% over the day and 3.2% over the week. So it is recovering from probably a little bit of a pullback, and why you see the difference in numbers there. TON just keeps moving, keeps on moving up. That is at $5.61. We were calling it out below 5. That was Bill Noble's call. Don't forget that one. Over the day, it is 3.6% in the positive and 16.3% over the week. So it looks like it's going to have a nice little recovery there. I haven't really heard too much more about TON, to be honest with you. So looking good there. And I always forget, because I used to have my screen over here, that I can look straight ahead now. So I've set it up. All right. So we got Tron. That's sitting at 15 cents and really not looking all that great. It's pulling back a little bit. Cardano at 35 cents, and that is up 0.06 for the day and up 9.1% over the week. So not too bad. AVAX is looking strong at 23.94%, and that is up 11.7% for the week. So there is some of your top 10, top 15, we'll say. Chainlink, we will give that a little lip service, I guess, because that has moved up from number 15 to number 14. So we will talk about that. That's at $10.82, and that is up 3.5% over the day and 7.8% for the week. All right, let's go over to the liquidation heat map. We'll scroll down a little bit here and take a look-see. All right, so you can see the hotspot here, that's sitting at about 58,650. So we did get some of that liquidity today. What's the liquidity area I was talking about? That was about 58.5. I said that was going to be easy for it to get to. And sure enough, it came up and it grabbed some of that liquidity sitting at 58.5. Where did I come up with that? Like, why was I pretty confident in that move going up to 58.5? Well, it's because I come back and I kind of look at the price action. Look at it. You look at the trend. Price action is trending up and right. So we can cut that off, right? Because that really didn't happen until today. But you're looking at it. You see the trend overall is up and right. And then when you start seeing liquidity, that's kind of close. It kind of gives you the warm and fuzzy that it's going to go try to grab it before it ultimately makes that move back down. So that's why I was looking at that area. Let's go ahead and look at it on the charts and see where we're at. So sitting at the, we're sitting at resistance still. So we have the dynamic reactor, which is that area of resistance. So we're underneath of it. It looked like it wanted to break above for a minute there, but now it's just kind of like flirting with it, right? It's just kind of teetering on either side. But really, the majority of the price action is actually on the top area of where we had resistance, right? So it looks like it wants to flip it. It wants to flip what's resistance. It looks like it wants to flip it into support. However, coming down to the prime oscillator, it gives me, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't look super strong. What I would like to see is you come up here to the area of resistance, right? The dynamic reactor. And when you do that, it gives the RSI or the prime oscillator an opportunity to reset, which it has done. But now, right here, it actually printed a little bit of bearish divergence. So what does that mean? Price action going up, RSI going down. That's not ideal. But then you follow that with a bullish falling three, right? So that pattern, you see these three candles that are coming down, and then you had this big wick up, not a wick, but a big candle that's going up, showing a very bullish move and momentum up and right. So, this is really tough, especially when you're flirting with an area that's just like a key level, which we're finding that the dynamic reactor is, and in that area of about 58,000. But if we get on top of it, I do see a relatively easy move up to about 60K. So if we get on top of it and we get a little bit of, price action that's moving up and right, I'm looking for something a little bit higher up here. And, we could say there's kind of been a retest, but I don't like that it wicks under and then comes back up. That's not ideally what I would like to see. Ideally, I would like to see it get on top and then see something like that with a true retest of that area, because this was the area we were following, right? Right there at the top side. That was an area of resistance. I would like to see it test it and then look for that move up and right. But I would also like to see this oscillator to look a little bit more like that. Okay, so right now it looks like we're pulling back. So I think Piper talked about this a little bit on the morning show as well. He was, I think, looking at the opportunity to potentially take another short. So it's a little bit conflicting right now. So it's not doing exactly what I want it to do. Again, I'd like to see it get on top, retest, yada yada. But what happens if we pull back, right? So we've talked about this area here. If you guys are new, this area, this trend line right here, we've been keeping an eye on this for weeks, right? So right around 56.3, 56.4 is going to be your area of support. I would probably go ahead and add an alert here. So there's a couple different ways for you to do that, but that would be my recommendation. This trend line has held up for quite some time, and you're gonna hear me say it. Trends are friend till the end, until it doesn't hold. And when I say that, I'm looking for a close on the weekly, underneath of that channel. If you get a close on the weekly under that channel, that's where I'm going to flip, and I'm probably going to be a little bit more bearish in my sentiment. But until we do, I still think we're okay. So, title today is Bitcoin is ready, right? And I think we are. We're squeezing. You're now getting an uptrend. Look at this right here. Yep, got it. All right, look at the price action. Price action is going up and right. All right. You got a relatively flat area of resistance. So it's building pressure in here, building pressure. So I would like to see the RSI or the prime oscillator bend back to the upside, which is going to be hard. It hasn't had a real true reset. It's kind of just fading out right here. I would like to see that bend back to the upside, showing some momentum. Let's go to a smaller time frame though, because sometimes you have to do that to get ahead of the 4 hours. So let's go check the 2 hour real quick. Let's see what it's showing us on the 2 hour, because that could change the narrative a little bit. Of course, I just closed the entire indicator. Great job. All right, let's go down here. Prime Oscillator Pro. Sweet. And just like that, we are back in business. Oh, it's got all my old colors now. All right. Ah, man. See, this is why Piper is like talking about shorting, because you're seeing hits of bearish divergence, 2 hits of bearish divergence, and it's just really not showing the same strength that we had with this move here. So and then you got a peak seeker. These things are pretty money. And yeah, so that's tough. But then you have see this bar right here. This bar actually is showing you strength. This is kind of a bullish bar. So, oh, Piper's in here. What does he got to say here? Phew. If we can't take back the 200-day SMA, forget about it. Control Z. Oh yeah, undo. Yeah, I didn't think about that, but it's all right. We're good. So That's kind of what I'm looking at. I mean, we're at a, an area of resistance, and I've been talking about that. It's probably not where I would go long. I would like to see that true retest. You can see, I mean, the 2 hour, I didn't really look at this very much, and I don't typically, I pretty much stay on the daily and the 4 hour for the most part with trades, but it is on top of the dynamic reactor for the 2 hour. So that's a true squeeze going on here, because you got the 4 hour dynamic reactor right here where price action is, and then you got the dynamic reactor on the 2 hour underneath. Let's go over the daily real quick. So I know that one's a little bit higher. I think that one aligns a little further up with about 60K or so. Yep. So you got the value area low, you got the dynamic reactor, and 60K. You got all kinds of confluence right here for resistance. So that again, if we do get that move to the upside, that's where I'm going to be looking for a little bit of resistance. But really, the play for Bitcoin was really down here, I think, with the channel. Once we reestablish a channel, we got that retest with that big wick showing you buying pressure. That was the opportunity to take a play. And then I know Piper took a couple plays on the 4 hour where he saw some bearish divergence and there was some pullbacks. I think he actually played right here on that second test of the resistance and came down to this support level. So actually, I think he had some fibs up as well. So I think that's where his exit was. But here or there, we're kind of in the middle. Like if you're looking at it just on the daily, you're kind of in the middle of a range with some intermediate resistance here. I don't know, man. Looking at the daily, so the daily looks pretty good. Look, this is flipping green. This is up and right. So it's really contradicting between the daily and the 4 hour. I would say the daily looks better than the 4 hour. And usually you would like to look at the 4 hour to kind of be a lead indicator for the daily. This is kind of backwards to me, to be like perfectly frank. So that's interesting. Coming up here, looking at what Chart Prime has to say, 60 minutes is actually bullish, 4 hour is bearish, and daily is bearish. I think that might change. I don't know. I'm gonna pass it over to FD, man. High side, that's easy for me. Confluence here at about 60,000. There's liquidity for it to clear out as well. That's just under 60,000. So I'm pretty confident in that area being resistance. We are, like I said, kind of in the middle of a range, but the play for me in terms of going long, taking a long position was here on the channel when it came down for that retest, got that wick, and then that would be an entry. So yeah, man, that's kind of what I'm looking at. FD, I'm gonna pass it over to you, man. See what you got.
So, what's been on my radar has been AI plays, and I've been looking at AI plays because you know how AI performed when Bitcoin was doing this thing at the beginning of the year. So, I think if Bitcoin starts to reclaim a lot of these levels at the top, into the 60, 64 and up, then I think these AI plays will start doing well. And Near Protocol is one of the ones that's been on my radar this past week and a half. So we're right now I mean, of course, we're still in this big downtrend that started in May. Once we got our peak over in March, then we got a lower high. So we just been making this downtrend ever since May, like I said. So what I'm looking at right now, we just been in this range from about $4.40 to about $3.40. So a dollar range. We did have this deviation here, but for the most part, we're hitting our head on that neckline, that resistance right now. So I want to see how the overall market acts. We do have, like I said earlier, over on the show with me and Piper, we do have the rate cut decision coming next week. So a lot of these coins are in ranges. A lot of these coins are hitting their head or about to hit their head on some resistance levels. So I think that'll be like one of the determiners to really tell us which way this market is going to go. So for near right now, what I'm looking at, I like this pattern, but I don't, because it's kind of forming sort of like a head and shoulder. So what we don't want to do, this is on a daily time frame. We don't want to get rejected right here and start to curl over. We'll look at some oscillators and some indicators in a second, but we see the hump, then we see the head, shoulder, head, and if we get rejected here, we can possibly get or create another shoulder. And we have a lot of resistance ahead of us. We have, like I said, the $4.40. We have that downward sloping trend line that'll probably come in at about $4.55. Then we also have some more resistance, some more horizontal resistance here coming in at about $4.70. But once we can, or if we can seem to break out of that, which would probably be determined by the direction of the market probably starting next week with all the information and all the data and all the cuts that we might potentially be getting, I'll be looking to flip long. So what I'm looking at right now, let's actually go to some indicators. So the daily money flow is starting to come back out. We were getting, it was, tightening up, and then we started to come back out on the for the money flow. And then on the prime oscillator is pointing up on the daily. So it's giving me a bit of a mixed signal. So what I do is I go into the 4 hour to get a little bit more confluence in the shorter term. And looks like on the 4 hour prime oscillator, we are starting to hit that overbought area. And we also are curving around, and we're leaving that blue area to that dark blue area over on our cipher B divergences. So, and money flow is actually pointing down on the 4 hour too. So it is looking like we might roll over here at this support level or at this resistance level, but we do have some support coming in. You see, we can just draw this line here. So we do have some, this was resistance here, support, 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 resistance, resistance, broke back up, held it as support. So we can come back down here to about $3.83 to $3.80. So this is what I'll be looking at to potentially open a long position if we do come back up here to ride it back up, and hopefully we can break out if the market turns bullish. I'm betting on the market to turn back bullish. I like the way that we took them CPI numbers and we went down to 55, but then we bounced back. I like the way Nvidia bounced back. I like the way the stock market has bounced back. Hopefully it's not a dead cat bounce, but we'll see how the weekend comes into play. We'll see how tomorrow turns out. So, like I said, what I'll be looking for possibly is for us to come back down here for a double bottom here, and then work our way back up to test this crossing path with the cross of the downward sloping trend line and the horizontal to potentially start to move our way back up here. And if we break out of this downward sloping trend line that's been acting as resistance for months, then I'm looking for us to start breaking out. Once we break out, I mean, we got a nice $2 move. So that's a huge move if we do seem to catch that. Let's just say we do seem to catch this move from here. This will be somewhat of a 38 to 40% move. So just let the charts tell you what to do. Let the charts tell you which direction it wants to go. Watch the breakouts. Always look for retests because they give you a better risk to reward. And that's what I'll be looking for near protocol. And I'm going to put some more AI plays on my radar. And I might start doing a little bit more deeper dives on some coins that have good fundamentals, but are lower in market cap. And I might bring them to the stage next week.
Right on, right on. I got Ethereum up on the daily. Let's take a look at that. Ethereum has been, we'll say, underperforming here recently. So to bring up the moving averages, I know Piper was talking about the 200 SMA. Were you talking about that on the 4 hour chart? Because I did see that just above the dynamic reactor. So somewhere it was like 59-ish. I think that's what you're talking about right there. So yeah, I mean, I agree. It does have to make it through there before it can get to 60K. And that is actually where liquidity is sitting as well. So that makes a lot of sense for the 200 SMA to be in that area and to be a pretty key level. So yeah, that's a good call out by Piper. And yes, I hear you, Control Z. So a little bit of a shout out here in the chat. We got a couple late arrivers here. Flat Smack, what's up? My guy Mike plays in the house as well. And we got the one and only Crypto Billy. He's in the house. Much love to you and the Billy Goat's Tales team. We love you guys. You are family. All sets in the chat as well. If I haven't shouted you out, there you go. Average Crypto Joe said sup as well. And then Alex O Crypto, my dude. Hey man, I think we've got all the TriCam, like we got all that worked out. So we got to get you on, dude. Whenever you're available, let me know and we'll bring you on. All right. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so Ethereum. Looking at Ethereum on the daily. Now, this was a very key area for me, and this is just a horizontal level of resistance. You can see that there was buying pressure here. You see this nice wick that came off of it, but 21.42. But where did I come up with that? Well, really, it was from this. Like, it's a previous range. So before we shot up in February, which is where we had the big move for most of the cryptos, Bitcoin specifically was in February. Ethereum was in February. I think Solana was more in like March. But that being said, this range right here was it stayed in there for quite some time from December all the way till February. So 2 months it stayed in a range. So very interesting to look at, but you can see kind of top side and bottom side here of that range. It basically just came back in there, and you got a nice little wick. If you're looking at this on the daily, that's a nice little wick there. That does show you that there is some buying pressure, and then we just had a move up and right. But what is it? What happens now? Well, you got the top part of that range, or the top side. So again, these are just simple horizontal levels. You're looking at about 24.36. Now you do have the moving averages that are starting to intersect that level of resistance as well. So that's now adding confluence and a little bit, making it a little bit harder for price to move its way up and right, feeding Piper's bearish narrative. But on a good note, if we come back and we look and we got that bounce, we can see that we have bullish divergence, price coming down, RSI going up. We had a peak seeker. So it was ready for a little move. Let's actually measure that move, because I'll be honest with you, I wasn't even tracking Ethereum. It's just been in the dumps. It's not something I've really been watching all that much. But I would say for Ethereum, you're not going to really get too excited until we can get across. I would say at least we got to break this range. Break this range at about 24.36 and then get over some of these moving averages. I mean, that's kind of going to be what I'd wait for in terms of getting excited. Now, if you're talking about like adding to your bags for Ethereum, if you have an established range that you come down and revisit, never a bad idea. Obviously not financial advice. You do what you're comfortable with, but let's go back and look a little bit further left on the chart, and you can see we've been way above it before. Of course, that's all-time high, but we came down and look at the top side of this range. Before we had a breakdown, we actually bounced off of it twice for support. So even got a wick down this green line, or the level of support here at about 2142. So I think this is a pretty significant range. It's been a range that we visited a few times. So I would keep an eye on that, but I would like to get on the top side of that. And sorry, I'm dying over here. Get a little retest of that area before we see that continuation up and right. And I would look for continuation of the prime oscillator moving up and right as well. So we talk about that quite a bit, but that is kind of what I would look for on Ethereum. So I think 24.36 is a pretty good number to keep an eye on. If we get on top of that and reestablish, price action on the top side of there, then I think we could look for some movement up and right again. And Ethereum's got, there's no real reason that Ethereum doesn't have room to run. Because if you're looking at the highs here back in 21 and the end of 21, November of 21, like I don't see why we can't get back up to there. It's just right now it's pulling back, and I'll be honest with you, I don't really have a true reason for why that is on Ethereum, because I would have thought the ETF would have been a catalyst for movement to the upside. And I'll be very transparent with you. I'm not going to try to BS you and say like, there's fundamental reasons that I believe in it pulling back, because I really thought we'd see movement to the upside. So here nor there, that's
Well,
what we're sitting at.
we
What's up?
we got some movement, but it was just front ran. Remember we went from like
Yeah.
2,800 to like almost 4K once we got the news that it was coming, and then after it peaked out, it was pretty much a buy the rumor, sell the news event for the
I'm,
ETF, and we didn't really get those inflows like you said, like Bitcoin, the actual inflows coming in like Bitcoin did. So that's what I was looking for as well too. So I definitely understand
yeah.
where you're coming from.
Yeah. Like I it was front run. I'll buy that, right? But this move is really, if you think about it, February into March, that correlates right with Bitcoin. Like you just go back on the chart, look at it. It's almost, February to March, right? So Bitcoin's daddy. We know that. It drives everything. But Bitcoin's held the range a little better, right? Like if you go to Ethereum and look at it, it's fallen out of the range like a lot harder. And then if you look at Solana, like, cause look, here's your value area low, point of control, value area high, yada yada, it stays in that range, and then broke down, and then comes up, and it didn't really make it for a true retest. But we will call that a retest, right? We're in a range. Yeah, actually,
Yep,
it kind of did, because if you take the wicks here, it did
yep.
retest,
Got the weight. Yep.
breakdown. So that's a little surprising for me, to be honest. Like I don't see the reason for it, especially like if you look at Solana too. Like I'm wondering if people are really starting to move away from Ethereum into some of these other altcoins. I I wonder if that is like really actually happening now, because how else do you explain Solana staying in the range and some of these other projects staying in the range and Ethereum's not? You know, that's it's we start more talking about the fundamentals and that stuff vice like the true like price action and like I don't know, the ETFs. Like I don't know. I just it's concerning. We'll say that.
Yeah.
We'll say that.
So Piper in the chat said, "Silly bulls, he's going to take our lunch money." So with that statement, I definitely agree. Like we can flip bearish, but we will be prepared for that too. We're not making predictions. We're being prepared. So if you go back to my chart, let's go back to Near Protocol and let's flip bearish to see what we could do if it does turn bearish. And this is just typical price action because if it turns bearish, it's gonna be a crypto wide bear sentiment. You know, it's gonna be just be sentiment is gonna be bearish, and everything is probably gonna roll over. So what I'll be looking at is let me get my drawing tool. It's us to get rejected, which we're getting rejected now, and potentially lose this area here. Once we lose this, retest that as resistance and come all the way down. This move right here, I mean, even if you just took this move and waited for a retest, I mean, that's like a almost a 25% move right there, shorting. And you know, shorts usually come quicker than longs. Like when the market is going down, the market is going down. So if we do start to turn bearish on the market or more bearish than we already are, that's just another trade that we can take. And we can even take this here. I'm not really a measured move guy, but if we take this and pull that, I mean, look at that. The confluence is there. The confluence is right there. So that'll be a move that, I will a short that I would take for near protocol. Hopefully we don't do that because I'm bullish on the space. I'm bullish on everything. I'm bullish on AI. Hopefully we can get over this little hump that we've been in, this little downtrend that we've been in. So hopefully that happens. But like I said, we don't make predictions. We just are prepared. So we're gonna be prepared for either scenario to make money to add to our bags. You can add to your bags on shorts. I mean, you can make money on shorts to add to your long-term bag. So either way it goes, we're going to try to make some money here and there. And these are huge moves. This is on the daily time frame. So these are big moves. It might look small on the chart, but these are actually very big moves. And if you add, 2, 3, 4, 5x leverage, if you're a DJ in 10, I wouldn't suggest 10 on coins like this because you can easily get wiped out. But 2, 3, 4, 5x on this on that's 100% move. So be looking out for that too.
Right on, right on. Just trying to catch up on the chat a little bit here. You guys are just tearing it up, man. It is flowing right now. But you know what? As we were I was sitting in the background here and I was like, I didn't even put a fib on this, not recently. So I took the range from bear market low to our local high. Look where it just bounced. This area of support lined up perfectly with the top side of the golden pocket. It's almost like TA works. So, with that being said, Piper, what do you think now? Because we've seen these pullbacks off of, golden pocket, and then we get a bounce, and then we see that's the catalyst. And I know it shouldn't be the catalyst talking about the golden pocket. I know that's not really how it works, but we've seen some really big moves, off of the golden pocket. And like a lot of the altcoins, we were talking about that before. They had big run ups, and we were like, "Hey, you didn't miss it. Just wait for it to pull back." And what did we wait for? We waited for it to come back to the golden pocket, and then that was the time for it to make a run. So, very interesting. To look where that's at. I wonder if that's a play for people. I wonder if that's why you're seeing those wicks, especially this one right here. Look at how hard that wick came off of it. I mean, that just screams that people had a fib on there. So I don't know, something to look at. You got to flirt with that 0.5 now, which is basically almost correlates to the top side of the range, which is pretty close. It's about a $60 difference. So it is interesting. It is interesting, but that's kind of what I'm looking at here. So I got Bitcoin and Ethereum. You got anything else, FD, you want to look at?
No, really quick. I mean, just with Bitcoin dominance, we've been teetering around this 57 to 58 level for a very long, well, not a very long time, but since like the beginning of August. So I mean, Bitcoin has been showing us why Bitcoin is the king. Like all these alts have been going down 60, 70, 80. A lot of them 90%. Bitcoin is down like 20%, went down like 20 something percent at its peak. But Bitcoin is still staying strong in my opinion. And I think if we do start to get Bitcoin dominance can go up if the market is going up or if the market is going down. So if the market goes down, I think a lot of people who are a lot of people now are really believe in crypto, so they take their money out of alts and they put it into Bitcoin, which will cause the dominance to go up. So if we do start to roll over, be expecting Bitcoin dominance to finally break out of this 57.7 area. And if we go up, it could be a Bitcoin led rally, which it usually is. That's how the cycle goes. Will still break out. And just you have time for alts. That's what I'm trying to come with. Like a lot of these alts are at, these macro resistances. You don't have to try to catch bottoms. You don't have to try to catch breakouts. You have time. Just look at the confluences, look at the, Bitcoin dominance, look at, total three sometimes you can look at. And you have time with alts. I think Bitcoin is going to continue its ascension higher if, when it does. And then also lag behind. Of course, they'll go up in fiat terms and USD terms, but you'll still have time to get in some of these alts because a lot of them are down bad. But if you know how to play the game with Bitcoin to alts, alts to Bitcoin, Bitcoin to alts, alts to Bitcoin, then you should be fine. A lot of people who are doing it now and not really even going to like USDT or USDC. They're just playing the Bitcoin alt pair, Bitcoin to alts, alts back to Bitcoin. And it's been faring, pretty well for them. So that's not something that I do. It is something that I would try to learn a little bit better. I've been watching a lot more Benjamin Cowan. He's a big Bitcoin dominance believer. So watching him and just doing some back testing and trying to beat the market that way as opposed to taking my money out of crypto into fiat or into USDT and just keeping it in Bitcoin at all times, keeping it in crypto at all times.
Right on, right on. Cool. AG47, he said H bar about to announce something. No clue. Anyone know something? I don't know. Let them know in the chat if you do.
Oh
I
man,
personally do not. So,
H bar looks bad, man. I looked at H bar a little bit earlier, man. It's looking bad. It's a
yeah.
very it performed. It had like one little bounce during the beginning of the year. I think it was like in March or something like that. But everybody was predicting H bar to be like at $1 by now. And it's what 5 cent. So H bar has some good technology from what I've seen from the research that I've done. But hopefully they announce something. They need something. H bar, Algorand. It was a couple more that I was looking at that have really underperformed this cycle. So I'm gonna stay away from them, and I'm gonna go to ones that have showed me that they were gonna perform when Bitcoin is gonna perform. So that's my strategy right now for the second half of the hopefully the second half of the bull run.
Right on. Alex O said an inverse head and shoulders on H bar. So, that is good if that is the case. I always look at the shoulders though. I like to see which way it's kind of leaning. That kind of gives you, in my eyes, a little bit of an idea of which way the price action might head. So, and which way did it
Mhm.
actually enter into the pattern. So, two things for you to look at when you're looking at those. So yeah, I think we're gonna about to wrap this one up, man. I appreciate everybody for stopping by tonight. Definitely love seeing all you guys in the chat. You guys are part of the fam. It's awesome. So really, really appreciate it. FD, man, you got anything for the people on the way out?
Yeah, so I just looked at that inverse head and shoulders, man. If you want to do a quick scout for H bar, neckline is at about 5 cent. Well, here, let me I really just did this really quick since he said something.
Yeah,
So
I
if
got
this
you.
is what he's talking about, possibly here, here, and then, here, then we got the neckline here. I would probably be targeting this area here, take out these highs right here, at about 0.055. We might get an emotional move up to 0.056. So that is definitely a trade that you want to keep your eye out on. But like I said, a lot of these alts are at levels. This is on the 4 hour time frame, so a lot of these alts are at levels of resistance. So we need some type of catalyst or some type of push to get us over get us over the edge. So thank you, Alex.
There you go. Our dude. Providing that alpha, man. We appreciate you. Like I said, we're gonna get you back on, man. Whenever you're ready, whenever you're done changing diapers, come on over. Join us on the nightcap, man. It's always a good time with you, man. It's always a good vibe, man. I really enjoy doing content with you. So that being said, we're gonna wrap it up for the evening. I thank everyone here for stopping by. Piper, put those knife hands away, bro. You don't need it. Go ahead, sheathe that buddy. Put that thing away. All right, you're gonna be all right. You can give up that first sergeant, huh? Trying to tell me to do push-ups, man. I'm gonna get you, man. Wait till we go on our cruise, man. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. All right. Hey, also too, I've been doing that 100-day, or not the 100, the 100 push-up a day challenge. I don't know if you guys have seen that. I'm probably blowing up your Twitters with that. I am sorry. I apologize, but I set my mind to something. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna follow through. So 30 days. I think I got 24 more to go, and yeah, hopefully
Yeah,
I'll
man.
be
That's it.
looking
Yeah,
a little
you
bit
gotta have to
little
start
bit more
getting
stocky.
medium shirts next, man. You
That's what I
busting
said.
out
I
of that
was
shirt right now.
nah, nah, absolutely not, man.
I
Uh,
see the veins popping out, man.
yeah, yeah, my extra medium. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm right in between too, dude. Like I am literally between like the small and the medium. Like if I want something that's a little bit more form fitting, it's a struggle.
yeah,
It's a struggle. So it's smalls are too small because I look like I'm wearing like a little kid's t-shirt sometimes, and it's like, and then like
yeah,
mediums are just a little bit like I want it a little tighter to the arm. It's a struggle,
yeah.
dude. But you know us. We always stray off. All right, so we're gonna get out of here. Hope everyone has a good night again. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. If not, like and subscribe anyways, because I asked you to. And we're gonna get out of here. Y'all have a good night. Talk to you tomorrow. Oh, take that back. See you Monday. Have a good weekend. We're out.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yeah, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go,